Group 3 and the start of the 4-year-old series. Headline Sha Tin on Sunday. Welcome to Racing to Win, and it's a 10-race program coming up throughout the day this week. Joined on the panel by Paul Lally and Tom Wood. And Tom, what an outstanding lineup it is for this year's Classic Mile.
Absolutely, Mark. It's an absolute ripping field for the Classic Mile. A bit of the unknown at the top with the California Spangle stepping up to 1,600 metres from 1,200 metres. But horses like Packing Victory, Romantic Warrior, they're in really good form, and it is just full of quality, the race. Further down you've got Far, he's been in a superb order as well. And horses at the bottom who've sort of just emerged recently, the likes of the Irishman, also Satanta, and also towards the bottom, Sight Spirit. So chock full of quality.
It sure is. We'll have a closer look at that on the show today. And Paul Lally joins us as well. Paul, you've been all over the Irishman leading up to this series. No doubt you're sticking solid with him somewhere amongst your thoughts and that. And any jackpots for Sunday?
Yeah, look, there's a good jackpot there, and the triple trio should get up to over 9 million, 4.6 million jackpots, so should get up to 9 million for that. I reckon this is just one of the best races of the year, this one. There's so many different form lines coming into it, and it's like the WWF, isn't it, where they all come together and all the heavyweights fighting it out.
No, that's not real, Paul. No, Classic Mile is. All right, let's have a look at what is coming up at the Tin on Sunday. It is a 10-race program, so usual start time of 1 o'clock, and the 2 races that we're going to focus on we'll show you shortly, but 7 on the A+3 course on the turf and 3 on the all-weather. Races 7 and 9, the Centenary Vase at Group 3 and the Hong Kong Classic Mile, the start of the 3-leg 4-year-old series at 10 minutes past 5 o'clock. The Centenary Vase we start with, though, 1,800, so they get a beautiful run down the back straight at Sha Tin. And we've got Kaying Star at the top of the bookies, placed 2 for 2 course and distance. Panfield was Aurora last time, but has trialled well since around Happy Valley. Tourbillon Diamond goes up £9 for his win in the Group 3 Sa Ladies Purse over this trip. Columbus County is coming back in distance. Butterfield is a 2-time 1,800 metre winner, but they were both in Class 2. We've got Excellent Proposal. He won the Classic Mile on this day last year. And Zabrowski, the January Cup winner at Happy Valley, actually carries less weight. Tom, 115 for the January Cup, with Matthew Poon getting aboard, £113 today. The all-important speed map for the 1,800, and it looks like a good tempo.
It should be, with horses like Reliable Team in the race, although if he gets to the front he might try and look to button the tempo out of the race. Paul, what about Kaying Star, I should say, Paul, because he has actually missed the start in his last couple. Yeah,
he is a little bit unreliable now, isn't he? But look, he's drawn inside Reliable Team, and they have sort of been working on that with his track work, so I'm sure if he jumps he'll be up there. But as you say, he has missed the last couple of times. Tourbillon Diamond should get himself to a nice run, nice place with Zabrowski. I just wonder if Panfield from barrier 6 with a bit of speed underneath him, where he does end up. He might be just one further back if Champion's Way kicks up. But there's 1,800 metres, so there's a long run to that first turn.
There is, and it's only a field of 10 as well. Previous winners, Tom, we're going to have a look at them right now. And last year it was Glorious Dragon for Matthew Poon, who rides down the bottom. Zabrowski.
He certainly does. He's got a chance, a good live chance this year of going back-to-back. Of course, Exultant's won the race on a couple of occasions, Donoso and Supreme Profit. But, of course, our Premier Stay has been able to win this race for the last couple of years, Exultant, back in 2020 and 2019.
We'll see who puts their hand up for this week's and this year's edition as well. Zabrowski's going for back-to-back group wins. His trainer is Casper Founds.
Casper, Zabrowski was a convincing winner of the January Cup last time at Happy Valley. He'll step out here at Sha Tin on the weekend. How has he been since then?
Yeah, he's been good. He remains in good form. Obviously, handicap conditions again are going to suit him for this race, and yeah, I'm happy with him.
He likes to trip across the border, doesn't he? It wasn't soon after the Happy Valley win that he went across to Chung Fa. Do you feel that's a huge benefit for a horse like him? 100%.
It's a benefit for all horses in Hong Kong. If they can get to China, it's a godsend.
And on the nature of this race, obviously you mentioned the handicap conditions. He does only carry the 113. Very upwardly mobile horse, Casper. Was this always the plan on the back of Happy Valley?
Yeah, it was. You know, obviously we're trying to get his rating up as high as we can. He's the type of horse, again, sort of end of season, you know, the Queen Mothers and Champions and Cheddar could play into his hands quite nicely. You know, sometimes you get wet tracks at that time of the year, which he should be able to get through as well. So yeah, he's a nice progressive horse, and you know, just keeps improving.
And just to assess his performances at Sha Tin, obviously his biggest and best success and best run was obviously at the Valley, but his runs here at Sha Tin have been very good in defeat.
They have been, yeah. He's raced very consistent from day one, and you know, long may it continue.
It sounds like you've got a bit to look forward to, a bit to work with, and hopefully he can carry that forward.
I hope so too. Yeah, thanks. You're right.
Now, that was Casper Founds with Nick Child at track work yesterday morning. Paul, he's a horse who you have to love his attitude and the way he tries every time he goes out there.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of the major chances in the race, and he does come in with the right weight, doesn't he? The light weight in his handicap conditions, 113 pounds, and a good draw in barrier 3.
Yeah, it brings him right into calculation. He's had the 2 wins here from his 7 starts, along with a handful of minor placings, so he's really acclimatised quite quickly to the Hong Kong way of life, has Zabrowski.
So that is Zabrowski. Checking out some of the other horses in the race here, Tom, we've got Kaying Star, who leads for home. Karras hasn't ridden him for 2 years, but back on board this week. Panfield and Tourbillon Diamond. So this was over the 2,000 metres in the Group 1 Hong Kong Cup.
Yeah, I really like the run here for Tourbillon Diamond coming into this. He's only got the 1-2-4 in his back here with his 1-1-3 rating, but he's been able to run home pretty stylishly, I thought, last start behind Love's Only You, and that form line, I think Paul should be able to stand up.
Yeah, he's definitely in as well. Tourbillon Diamond. I'm going to give Panfield another chance as well. Look, he's trialled well since then. This was an off day for him. He finished towards the back, and he did have some problems when he pulled up, but his work has been really good since.
And that trial coming up shortly. Before we get to that here, Paul, we've got the Group 1 Hong Kong VAR. So this was 1.5 miles. Butterfield would like the drop back to 1,800 that he's going to get. Columbus County and Reliable Team's just been super disappointing since winning that Group 2 Jockey Club Cup.
He sort of stole that race, didn't he? He had everything in front. And look, if Kaying Star does miss the start, then he'll get that opportunity, I think, as well. Look, Columbus County was not a bad run from him as well. Would prefer to see him over a bit longer, though.
Yeah, this is his absolute minimum that he wants, Columbus County. You can see he's sort of ground away there for a 4th placing in the VAR's. Reliable Team's just not gone on with it after a farcically run race that he was able to win.
It was indeed. Just absolutely pinched it in front that day, did Derek Long. Final race replay before we get to the trials, Tom. This is at the 600 metre mark with Excellent Proposal and Champions Way. And as mentioned earlier, Excellent Proposal, this time last year he was the mile winner.
He was, and to this point of the race you did not want to be on him at all. Excellent Proposal. But he seemed to pick up again in the straight. At sort of this point here, you were thinking maybe he's going to be lucky to beat 1 or 2 home, but he was able to really wind up solidly the last 100 metres, Paul. I sort of question the way Champions Way is going at the moment. Is he going that well? I don't think he is. He was hard-ridden in a recent barrier trial.
Yeah, I tend to agree. He didn't go in for me. But look, I have put Excellent Proposal in, but look, he's been a funny horse, isn't he? He's had the 4 starts and he's been threatening to win one all season. And it was another run from here. Just can't seem to get his nose in front. Did win on this day last year, though.
He has been back to the trials still and ran 3rd, beaten ahead behind So We Joy, being allowed to run home. Finally, Paul, back to the trials at Happy Valley, and this is Panfield. It was over the 1,700 metres, and he's trialled up really nicely. Yeah,
it was a nice trial from him, I thought, Panfield. He'll be 4th up now for the season. Look, he has been a little bit hit and miss in his last couple of starts, but when he does win his races, he does win them pretty impressively. So look, he should be a price. I'm going to take a chance with him, Panfield, but you are taking him a bit on trust.
Yeah, he was sort of right on the cusp for me going in Panfield. It was a toss-up between him and Kaying Star. Kaying Star goes well course and distance. Panfield's had the 1 placing for his 1 start, course and distance. I was just a little bit concerned with his last run and that little issue he pulled up, so he's obviously got that in the background to be wary of.
OK, so that is a look at the replay. He's trying to work out a winner, Paul. Who have you come out with on top? Is it Panfield?
Yeah, I have gone with Panfield. It's a real open race, though, but he's on top here. I just think he'll be at a bit of a price, Panfield. Zabrowski's going to be tough to beat from his position in the handicap weights right down the bottom there. Excellent Proposal has been consistent all season, and Tourbillon Diamond, as Tom mentioned, was a good run from him last time as well. So good race the 7th, 2, 10, 8 and 4.
8 and 4, my Quinella here. I've gone with Excellent Proposal on the top. Just the way he ran last start, the 1,800 metres should be right up his alley here, the son of Exceed and Excel. He's on top ahead of Tourbillon Diamond. He's had a recent quiet trial. He was held together there. Zabrowski with the very light weight, and Kaying Star, who's got top weight here. Just hope he can jump better because he's been certainly a bit off in his recent starts in terms of barrier manners. So 8, 4, 10 and 1.
That is the preview for the Centenary Vase, the Group 3 race, race number 7. Off to a break here on Racing to Win, back with a really hot field. The Classic Mile, race number 9, right after this. Welcome back. You're watching Racing to Win. This is Hong Kong's twice weekly racing show, and what a field we've got coming up for here. The first leg of the Hong Kong 4-year-old series. It is the Classic Mile, and California Spangle goes to the 1600 for the first time. Blaze Warrior has the blinkers on, packing victories up in trip to the mile. Far, he's a 5-time 1650 metre winner at Happy Valley. Master Delight's proven course and distance. The Irishman slow out last time, but then ran third behind Beluga. Satanta goes from the 14 to the 1600 metres. Copefield has the cross nose band off, the tongue tie on, and the 13 Sight Spirit, since stepping to the 1400 metres, is unbeaten at his last 3 starts. Speed map, so important here, Tom, with such an even field. Who are the winners and who are the losers?
Well, obviously a loser from the draws is California Spangle from barrier 13, but he's obviously got a lot of speed to Paul to be able to come across them. But is a case of Chadwick gets to the front and drops the handbrake?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, he tried to do that. Remember when he drew wide and he over that 1200 metres, he got to the front easy enough, but he just drove them into the ground. 1600 metres is a different kettle of fish. You wouldn't want to over race here. Lucky with you, we know he's got speed. I think Packing Victory from his draw is going to be one of the winners, as is Romantic Warrior. Both those two horses can get nice runs.
All right, so that's how the speed is going to play out for the Classic Mile. A couple of graphics to look at, and firstly, it's back to the previous winners here, Paul. Excellent proposal, and won Golden 62 years ago. Yeah, so good horses win this race, don't they? Rapid Dragon back to 2017. Ferrore, who went on and won the Derby as well. So, look, it's a good race, and this year's no exception. And Tom, it's not easy to win the clean sweep, the 4-year-old series. Here's the Mile, Cup and Derby over the past 10 years.
Yeah, and it sort of gives you a good guide towards the Cup and the Derby, just the Classic Mile. More often than not, the winner comes through the race, or at least in the top 4 anyway, and they go on and be competitive on all 3 legs of or the other 2 legs of the series, Paul. Yeah, they definitely do. Taking away from that, if you're in the Cup, whoever wins this, back him for 4th. And Golden 60 and Rapid Dragon, the 2 that went right through undefeated in the last 10 years. Tony Cruz, he had a night out at Happy Valley last Wednesday night. He'll be hoping that form continues when he saddles up California Spangle and also I'm a Single Man.
Tony, great to chat to you before a big race meeting coming up at Sha Tin this weekend. You've got a couple of runners in the 4-year-old Classic Mile. We'll start with California Spangle, who's been so exciting in recent racing. Just touching on that victory last time, that was mightily impressive.
I'm very happy with him because what we planned to perform, he has achieved that, and now we're stepping up a bit further. We still have high hopes that he can still run out the mile. I believe he should be able to dictate the race and try to win like he's been doing in the past, you know.
Just obviously you've had this horse a fair while now. He's had I think around half a dozen runs for you. Have you always got the impression from him that he could be a miler and a horse that could go a little bit further?
Yeah, sure. You know, I've ridden many horses in the past, from 1000 to 2004 even. You know, and I believe he can get to 1600. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
And just on where you're drawn, you say obviously being able to dictate the race. He's not been served overly well by the barrier. Would that be any sort of concern in your mind, or are you happy that he perhaps can get across and lead?
Well, he's the fastest horse in that field, that's for sure. You know, and I believe he can still dictate the race, go and lead the race, I mean.
And obviously a jockey on board that knows him well. Matthew did win on him on International Day, so that's certainly a plus as well, I'm sure.
That's for sure, yeah.
You've got I'm a Single Man in the race also. He's another on-pace runner. He's done nothing wrong leading up to this race.
No, you know, he's side by Gingerbread Man. I believe he gets the distance too, you know. I believe he get to 2,000 even. I'm not worried about this distance. I believe he'll be racing a bit handy too. And I think he's still got a shot. And
just on this horse, obviously, he's upwardly mobile. He continues to improve. Is this a fair test of his ability? I mean, he's probably stepping into a very stronger race than what he has faced, but he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, well, he's stepping up to Group 1 race, right? So, and I believe he's got a shot in it. I believe he'd be very close. I don't dare say he'd win the race, but he'd be in the finish, I reckon.
And just for you and your stable, you're having a great run at the moment. There was, I think, 3 at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, so that was a good night at the office. Horses are in good form. How much would it please you to tick off a race like this in what is a very competitive year?
Being at home is different from being at the races. I prefer to be at the races, but you get more nervous at home than at the races, really. But I like to sell up my horses, and I like to see them close to me, and I can see more about the horse, you see. So I believe the horses, both of them are really prepared for the race. I'm not worried about the draw, but I think we're going to be very close in that race.
And just obviously on this race, now this is at the forefront, but just looking ahead, they come through the mile A-OK. Is the plan to certainly go on to the next couple of legs, would you imagine?
Sure, we take it from here. If he wins the races, then we take it from where we should go with the horse, like the Derby and stuff like that. But we see the Classic Mile is coming up at the end of the month too, in February, right? So anyway, we see from there. We see how this race comes out first.
We will indeed. Plenty to look at here, so we move straight on to the next couple of horses here, Tom, and Packing Victory. That is him up outside the leader. He's out of this field, as is Blaze Warrior, and of the two, Packing Victory appears to be going the better at the moment.
Yeah, Blaze Warrior just seems to have gone off the boil a little bit. John Sizer's trying to rectify that by slapping a set of blinkers on him this weekend. So I've left him out, but definitely got Packing Victory in, Paul. He's taken the season so far by storm, really, with what he's been able to do. 4 wins from 6 starts. He just keeps on improving.
He does, and being by a reliable man, the 1600 looks good for him as well. He's one of the major chances for me, Packing Victory. Should get a nice run from barrier 4 as well.
You've had some real love for this horse on a Wednesday night, Paul. This is Far. Now, he's proven at the distance at Happy Valley. He's proven at 1,800 metres, so he's going to get the trip. What about the class?
Yeah, well, this is the query for him. I think he's up to the class. I mean, his rating proves that. He's up to a rating of 88 now. Look, the horse is going so well. He just keeps winning them in a row. Look, I prefer him in the Cup, I think, over the mile, but I still think he's going to run a race.
Yeah, you can't fault the way he's been going, and that horse that was running on down the outside was Beluga. We know the form stacked up well with him winning.
These two, Tom, Romantic Warrior, well, you can't fault him because he's unbeaten. Lucky with you, he has to settle for a placing here. He's beaten a length and a quarter, and the pair of them, they both go to the 1600 for the first time, like so many others in this race.
No concerns at all with Romantic Warrior coming to 1600 metres. He's looked bomb-proof really so far with what he's been able to do. Was able to get out of the trail there and has ended up winning by a bit over a length. Paul, once he put them to the sword here. Lucky with you, he had his chance, just wasn't good enough to reel him in on the day.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of query with the 16, a little bit as well with him, with Lucky with you. I agree with you. Romantic Warrior goes in for me. He's one of the main chances as well.
Lovely pickup ride for Karis Teaton with Joe committing to Master Delight. Could this be the forgotten horse, Paul? This is Sight Spirit, who, when he's stepped up in trip, has really found some form. This is over the 1600 metres, so he is proven at the trip. He
is. There's no question with that. Now, he's the unknown, isn't he? Because he's still on this rating of 79, but he's only had the 5 starts. He's won his last 3, and once he stepped up to 1600 metres, there was no problems with it at all. Look, he's got to do it off the rating, but what is his true rating? We don't know yet.
No, we don't, and he's drawn middle of the line here. He should be relatively handy. One would think it was an easy win on this occasion. Drew away from another 4-year-old series contender a little bit further down the line, Captain Win. But look, he could be for sure the forgotten horse in the race.
And Captain Win runs in the race, prior race number 8 this week as well, to see if he presses on in the 4-year-old series. What a field, Paul. So hard to narrow it down to just 4.
It is very, very hard, but you have to. So I've gone with the Irishman. Sort of been with him both his starts, and they've both been fantastic runs off slow pace. There's no way he's going to get a slow pace in this race. So he's on top, the Irishman, to beat Packing Victory, a Romantic Warrior and Far. 9, 4, 7 and 5.
On top for me is Romantic Warrior to make it 5 from 5. The 1600 metres he should really relish here and be tough to beat, I feel, Romantic Warrior. I don't think there's a lot between the Danny Shum pair. Packing Victory goes in as the Quinella horse. Far makes it in, and it was a better run we saw from Rocket Spade last start at Happy Valley. 2 runs ago he was disappointing, didn't really get the tempo to suit and wasn't able to run on. So 7, 4, 5 and 10.
An interesting plan with Rocket Spade. He's come through a race at Happy Valley around 10 or 11 days ago. They are the two features, Paul. What about outside of those races? Who else should we be looking out for?
Yeah, quite an even races throughout the card here. I do like Brilliant Way, a first starter in the first. It's a really good race, the first race to start off with. Flying Dragons 1 for 1 on the all-weather. Fun and Glory liked his two last starts, a couple of fifths, both starts, and have been both going pretty well. And Leading Fortune, I think, is due for a win as well earlier on in the card.
And you can see a preview for all of those races on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video for a race-by-race analysis. Best bet, long shot and a play, please, Paul.
Yeah, going with Leading Fortune. I think the horse is ready to win race 5. Number 9, he's really well rated now off a rating of 51. And the race after, race 6, number 7, Sunset Watch. Another one who's won off a higher rating before. Even race, this one, I just wanted something at a bit of a price. I think he will be from barrier 4 and will make the play in that race with an amazing chocolate, Sunset Watch, and the likely favourite, Everyone's Victory, QQP.
Go with one of the feature races, Romantic Warriors, the best. Karis Teton, Danny Shumi's unbeaten from 4, race 9, number 7, Romantic Warrior in the Classic Mile. And in the last race, When You Believe, he's up in grade here with a 105 to 80 rated race. Blinkers Go On. He's been beaten favourite his last 2. And the play coming up in race 9 with Packing Victory, Far Far and Romantic Warrior.
My old favourite comes to Sha Tin, Stormtrooper. He's on a reasonably fast back up, about a week and a half after coming back from a lengthy break at Happy Valley. Goes to the 1400, which does look ideal. Rider's Reign hasn't been too far away, despite the fact he's had 3 starts yet to hit the first 4. He has been running on. Karis Teton takes the ride for Michael Chang. And we'll go on all up again. A couple of Zach Purton's rides. Stormtrooper race 3, number 1, into Captain Win race 8, number 1. That has been Racing to Win. And of course, Tom, big day on Sunday. No racing at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. We're back at Sha Tin for 11 for Chinese New Year race day on Thursday. Yeah,
it's always a big day here. Shame there won't be anybody on track to enjoy it, but thoroughly looking forward to a Sunday at Sha Tin. Agree with what Paul had to say at the top of the show. It looks like the race of the season so far.
Yeah, looking forward to this race very much so, and some really good betting races throughout the card.
That has been Racing to Win. We will see you at Sha Tin on Sunday for the first race at 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.